I'm Elisa Mortensen, and this is Undo Redo. There we go. It said recording in progress. So here we are, live. The recap of the first one, if you weren't able to watch, we talked about belief. We talked about how likely it is if you think, oh, my family will never be on the same page. How likely are they to ever be on the same page with your help if you truly believe it's not ever going to happen? What makes you find ways that you can communicate to your family in ways that are so united together and so in love if you don't feel that belief? They're likely not to happen. Like if I don't believe that lessening my sodium intake could help my high blood pressure, how likely am I to lessen my blood pressure by not even believing that that's a thing? So we talked about belief in the first one. The likelihood of anything happening in your life that you don't believe is possible. And I want to offer you that miracles happen to me daily now and moment to moment. And it's very important to me that I keep looking for them and stacking them and give more of my efforts to work towards them because it is powerful and because it's working. And because it's not just working for me, it's working for everyone I've talked to, everyone I'm helping through having miracles in their life. If we're having a hard time speaking up, if we're having a hard time showing up, if we're having a hard time taking care of this physical body or our schedules, like if we believe it's not possible because that's not who we are, I'm just someone who can't do it and I don't know what happens and we're not taking ownership of it, then it can't happen. I offered you some thoughts. If we believe it's never going to work out, how likely would it ever work out? And if you had months and years of pain, and at any moment it was available to you to turn it around, would you? This is how it's happening. The importance of where we're directing our minds to help heaven, help higher power, whatever you want to call it, make these things happen for us. To bring it into our own lives by doing everything on our side with much effort in order to make it happen. All right. So how much are you giving heaven to work with? If I just call it heaven, I believe in God, and that's what I'm going to talk about. It. Some people are like, I get a lot of energy from my inner child. Great. That's perfect for you. All right. So I'm going to go through, now that I've gone through the recap, what we're going to do is go through the first 60 seconds of what happens when something like, say there's a dumpster fire that just started around you and it turns you into this inner anxiety, right? That moment that you're like, oh, I feel like I'm going to lose it. These are the tiny little micro resets that we're going to talk about. The first 60 seconds happens inside. And then the next 5 minutes, depending on what you do with the first 60 seconds, they're really important. The next 5 minutes can happen outside of you. So it's really important that we use our brains to direct what's happening inside of us. We interrupt where we know it's headed next. And we're smart people. We know who we're around and what situations we put ourselves in. We know what's going to happen. We know our responses. You know, if we have a family gathering or a board meeting, we know who's going to be there. We kind of know the personalities of everybody, and we kind of can guess or predict, make our best predictions on what's going to happen next. And we know what we feel. We know if we have a little bit of dread or if we have excitement. And I'm here to take you into harnessing all of that to make something come about in your life that makes more, that means more, that can have more control over all of it and turn it around whenever you need. All right, this is why it matters. The first 60 seconds of something that you typically tend to do that you don't want to do anymore. If you'd rather not have dread, you'd rather not have drain, you don't want to go into a lower mood and think these negative thoughts, because our brain's going to offer us a negative thought first. You're like, oh no, what if she does this? And this person's going to say that, and what if so-and-so's there, right? The first thing that your brain's going to do is offer you something like that. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to say, I know just what to do. It's going to be okay. And you're going to calm yourself down. That's the first 60 seconds. And when you get into the room and they do the thing that you get triggered by, you remind yourself like, oh, but I know just what to do. I don't, you pre-decide like, I don't let it get to me, or I don't. And these are the little tiny decisions that we use our agency and our free will to make sure that we are this steady. When we show up in a room that's chaotic and everything is crazy around us, no matter what room that is, and we join the crazy, we're part of the problem. But if you are able to stay steady, to calm your inner world, to have your body take deep breaths and breathe through everything that you feel in that moment, then you stay present, you stay clear. And you're much more likely to be of use to something in that room where the craziness and chaos is happening than you are to join the craziness and chaos. Energetically, higher frequencies are more steady. They're more stable. Lower frequencies are all over, and that steadiness matters. It matters for your clarity. When we have high intense emotions, our logic goes out the window. But in a really stressful situation, don't you think you'd need your logic? For sure we would. So if we truly can tap into, I believe I can make a difference here. I believe I can stay steady. I believe if I practice this enough, this would come naturally to me. It seems so foreign right now. I can't even wrap my head around it. I can't picture it. But if I try each moment, oh yeah, I can do this one little tiny reset. I can do this one little tiny check-in with myself. How am I feeling? Oh, there's anxiousness here. What do I do with this anxiousness? I think I just let it be there, but I'm here. If you have your eyes on anxiousness, you've already far above just letting it run. See, it's when you run with the emotion and you don't realize what's happening and you feel like you fall to the effect of it, that you're not able to get a handle on it. But if you can see it, if you can check in with yourself, that little tiny thing is a tiny reset. And what I had everybody do on the first class was, and you're going to join with me here, we're going to take 2 breaths in and then 1 out really slow. We're going to fill our lungs so big. And I want you to do this. And you can close your eyes if you want, but if you're driving, please don't. All right, 2 deep breaths. Ready? Are you full? Now exhale really slow and let your jaw relax and let your neck relax and your forehead muscles relax and your shoulders relax. This is how we invite our physiological body to reset. How long did that take? A few seconds? That's it. These micro resets and checking in with yourself do begin reset. If you'd like to reset in chaotic moments when you feel drained and you're spinning, I promise you, filling your lungs, from a scientific point, I could go into the boring stuff, but I'm not, filling your lungs with air as much as you can and exhaling super slowly. What if you were 3 breaths away from not spinning anymore? Because that's the truth. And we just did 2 little tiny ones. You could do 1 more big one, and then you would be more present and your body would be calm. And science says if a lot of really big crap's going down, people scan the room to look for who is most steady. You can't go leaning on someone who tips over often and crumbles often and it reacts in crazy ways. Nobody's going to go to those people. Who they're going to go to is someone who maintained, someone who is steady, someone who is firm, someone who is not scattered, someone who is gathered. And there's a difference. It feels open instead of tight. It feels expanded and welcoming and looking for answers than restricted, scared, and hiding in a corner. The people who are falling all over the place aren't the ones that are having the clarity to know what to do next. I want to go into that. When we direct our brain intentionally and we stay present with ourselves, holding ourselves in this chaos, whatever's happening around us that just has us falling to the effect of, I can't believe this is happening, and all these negative thoughts are being thrown into your brain, because that's what we do. As soon as we choose to go with those negative ways of thinking, like, what if it doesn't work? What if they don't respond and nobody's listening? I can't believe they just said that. Like, this shouldn't be going that way. They shouldn't be behaving that way. Like, all of these, if you choose to run with that question, guess what the answer is going to be? A negative answer. Negative questions get negative answers. It shows you that you don't believe that you can be listened to. You don't believe it will work. You don't believe that they can respond or behave in a better way. You don't believe that it's going to be, you don't believe that it's going to work out. But if you can catch yourself and see the red flag, catch yourself and hear the negative thought, then you can stop that cycle. So the first 60 seconds, which was part 1 of the class, and if you want part 1, I can send it to you. This is part 2. Part 2 is what happens next. My brain offers me all the reasons that it's not going to work out, that it's not going to play out, that it's going to be hard, that it's going to cost more money, that people are going to be upset. And oh no, what will they think of me? And what I'm offering you is to, at that moment, see it as a red flag and turn it around. Is it up to me what they think of me? No. Is it okay what they think of me? Yes. Is this who I am? Yes. Does it always work out? Yes. You get a positive answer when your brain goes to a positive question. So pay attention. Is that question useful? Is it not useful? Because what we want to do is use your brain to be very useful to you instead of be very harmful to you. This is how you little tiny micro resets all day long. Every moment of any day, it's available to you at any time to turn things around. And this is how we do it. In here first, in here, mind and body. And then the next 5 minutes, you invite people to join you. That's the most powerful part. How likely are you to, when an argument erupts and everybody has differing opinions, how likely is it if you don't say anything and you don't do anything and you just believe it's chaos and you're just going to keep quiet and you don't dare, I'm not going to make a difference. Like it's not up to me. It gets to go any way it wants. How likely are you to say, hey, I'm sure there's something else we could talk about today? Or I'm sure there's a way we can all agree. There has to be a way, like invite people to solutions, right? If you're a parent and you have kids and they're causing problems and they're finding issues, like don't join them in it. Don't find that they're the issue and that they're causing problems. Right? We do tend to revert to like a childhood state where we too have disbelief and we throw fits and tantrums, not thinking we're going to get our way. Like it is a toddler fit. So if we interrupt that and we stay in a more mature level and get out of those emotions, like it's really important for us to stay present. And staying present means everything. So how do we support our belief? Do you believe if you practiced some of the things that I'm mentioning, even just one thing, if you just took one thing that I'm saying and you practiced it often enough, do you believe that if you were practiced, that you could do it every time? Or that you could do it more often than not, or that you could make a difference? Because when somebody's used to overpowering us, or we're used to being the person that doesn't speak up, and we don't yet have evidences of ourselves being able to stand up to or for something, our brains will give us a lot of negative thinking that support that. But if you can wake up every morning and you can say, I believe I can turn things around at any moment when I don't like the direction they're going. We're smart. We kind of know where it's headed. If I believe I can turn things around at any given moment, I'm going to go to work finding the way. I'm going to maybe try something. I'm going to maybe try 2 things or 4 things instead of, I don't believe this is happening. Why is this even happening? Gosh, this is going to take me forever to get over. I'm going to have resentment. I'm going to, if they don't do this, then I'm going to that. We like premeditated resentments and put things in place that we have to have all these little tantrums we throw when we're so put off that they're throwing a tantrum. We join them. Believe that you can change it. If you don't want to go there, don't. Stop yourself. You're capable of it. Tell yourself it's okay. I got this. Who better than me to handle this? I know these people, whether you're a leader or a parent, I know these people so well. I got this. I've been through worse before. There are so many things you could tell yourself, like, wow, okay, I've been through worse. I can do this. Instead of, oh no, not again. I can't believe this. How can you talk to yourself in a way that nurtures your belief, that helps it grow? I'm trying to plant a seed in your mind that belief is possible, that you do have the power within you at any moment to believe bigger and to change you and invite them along. You draw a line with yourself. You'll start to get sick of your own crap sometimes. You'll be like, oh, I did it again, or this is where I do that same thing over and over. Right? At some point, your brain will switch over and offer you a more positive, productive way of thinking, and you won't even want to go into the emotional mess that you used to go into. And that will take the edge off because you'll be sick of your own crap. You'll be sick of how you allowed yourself to go into that lower, judgy, resentful, nitpicky, irritated, frustrated, space. And as soon as you see it, you can switch it. Doesn't matter if you've been mad for an hour or you've been stewing over things for a week and you've had this one problem bother you for a while. The second you see it, it's already changed. And then you can take action from there once you see it. The goal is to be able to see it as it's happening, to see the room, see where it's headed, be able to predict, because we're very, very smart, what's happening next, and to interrupt it. That's the goal. How much are you giving your belief a chance to grow, a chance to nurture? If it's just a little tiny seed and you stick it on a rock, it's going to die from the sun. If you stick it in the grass, I mean, it might grow something, it might get choked out, but if you're careful with it, if you can see it and get your eyes on it, that's the sun, that's the water, those are the nutrients that it needs to be able to grow. And belief gets you there. Belief makes it so. Belief actually changes everything because then your actions align with it. I know if I didn't believe it was possible for me to connect with my teenage son because that's just who he is, we'll never really have a relationship, he's just that way, I would have left it at that. And I could tell you right now that makes me want to cry because what happened is I didn't give up on that. I believed that if I became the person that was safe to talk to, that if I became the person that loved him regardless of his grades, chores, whatever he was doing, I believed so big that he would respect and listen and not fight back and not push back and want to help and want to be present and want to be part of the family. Same with my daughter when she pushed us away. The reason I teach this is because I've lived it. I've lived with kids pushing me away and estranged. I've lived with leadership where people don't show up and overseeing projects that people aren't getting done. I've lived this life. That's why I teach this. I have a special needs sister who doesn't do what she doesn't want to do and who does do whatever she wants to do. Try managing that. I manage it with connection. I manage it with energy. If I turn against her in any sort of judgments or resentments, she's on to me like that. Like I can't get away with any of it. And it has taught me how to align myself in a really true fashion to be so engaging and so inviting and so loving that she cooperates with me just because we have that kind of connection and relationship. And she can be honest with me and she can tell me truly what she's really feeling. And I can her too. Hey, Jen, I don't love that you do that. Is there another thing you could do? What else could you do? And she can just say, sister, no, I'm not going to. She calls me sister. And I'm like, okay, well, if we're not going to do that, let's think of another plan. And I invite her instead of join her in the chaos. And if she's throwing fits, like we can communicate in really open, really strong ways where I'm not offended, she's not offended. We get over things quickly. We can regain ground. And if I can do that with my special needs sister, like just be such an open, inviting, solution finding, and then she comes into hers and she is different than she has been in this last 3 to 5 years. Again, tearing up because I make a difference in other people's lives because of who I decided to be to them. I'm not their judge. I'm not their punisher. I don't see to it that I make sure they do things. I don't even bad talk behind their backs in my head. I truly am like, wow, they must be going through something. How can I love and support them through that? Your teenager tells you to F off and slams the door and shoves you. Like, they're really going through something. Are my actions aligned with showing them love? Or do I show them hate and anger and aggression? They know, they can smell it from far when you become their enemy, when you become somebody who's trying to enforce things. All right? I don't have any questions. I still don't see anyone in the chat. If something's come to mind, feel free to plop it in there. If you want to clear up anything, feel free, because I'm here and I'm here for you. And this just lets you open your mind to how many things are within your realm of using your agency and where it begins. It begins with your thought. It begins with a thought that makes your emotions heighten and your irritability and your frustration come out. And as soon as you notice it, within 60 to 90 seconds, you can back out of that. Oh, that's not who I am anymore. Oh, I don't like being irritated. It's like eating that cookie or brownie or cupcake recently that I had. Like, do I want to eat it or don't I? Because I know it's damaging to me, but also it's what I'm drawn to. So these emotions are damaging to us. They're damaging to the people. They're damaging to the room. They keep the negative energy going. And a higher version of you kind of doesn't want to be involved in that anymore. And we're kind of getting sick of us going there. So we draw a line. We take care of our inner peace. And from that place, you can invite others to solutions, finding their inner peace, being more steady, less reactive, less controlling of one another. Stay in my lane. Let them stay in their lane. And somehow life works out in such a bigger way with belief than it does without. With the ability to be able to interrupt things when we'd like, redirect things when we'd like, not take charge of other people, but take charge of our own energy, which highly impacts other people in a better way than words can, especially controlling or enforcing words. So this first 60 seconds, I'll say it again, that starts within you. Is your mind offering you lots and lots of negative things, and now you feel a horrible negative emotion inside? Notice it. And if you notice it, then you've got a handle on it already, and you can unchoose it. How can I feel empowered? How can I take my choice back? How can I go back to, I have a choice in this? Because you do. At any given time, any day, any moment. Is your belief starting to grow? I mean, if I've repeated it 7 times, you remember it. Isn't that what they say? See choice as a way to direct your brain intentionally to being in a space that allows heaven to join you with intention and effort into making miracles happen in the lives of others and in your own life. In your own life first, and then in the lives of others. This is how it works. This is how it happens. And it doesn't happen with a huge long thing that you need to get up and do every day that takes 4 or 3 hours and a big long talk and let's rehash this and family meeting, everyone get in the living room. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It has to do with you resetting yourself and being in such a higher steady frequency that it invites everyone else to also be in a higher steady frequency eventually. They're going to have their patterning, but once they kind of cue into, and it might take months. I mean, what if somebody doesn't notice for 6 months? Can you hang in there? Do you have the belief to hang in there that you could make a difference if you stayed steady enough, even if you lost it a bunch, but you could stay steady enough to make a difference, enough to be noticed, enough for them to let their guard down, to not feel threatened by you, to not think that you're either going to fight or run away? Fight or flight's real. Like we'll either close down and not say anything and have resentment, or we speak up too much and we hurt people. But there's this middle ground where you're steady and you're calm and you don't go there in your head. And that is the best presence. That is where heaven is. That is where miracles are made. So if you take these little tiny moments, these little tiny micro moments, and you use them all day, every day, just moment to moment, I got this moment. Maybe you don't have the next 10 moments, but then you got another one, deal. If you can have 3 moments, 2 moments, even 1 a day, I recommend 7. 7 seems to be my favorite number. It's a number of perfection. But if you were 3 breaths away from not spinning, 3 breaths away from resetting yourself, 3 breaths away from owning your space, owning the room, changing the tone, I'm telling you it's possible. And I'm excited for you to practice. I want you guys to reach back out to me. Give me some feedback on this. Find me on social media, or if you have my number, text me and be like, I loved it when you said this part, because that reaffirms to me what's catching on to people, what I can expound on. I would love it if there was any questions. I will be sending this to people who maybe weren't able to join us, and along with the number 1, this will go into my vault and people will be watching it from here on out. So if I can make it any better, then let me know. It would be really nice to know like what you went with and what you decided to try and what little tiny micro moments you're going to have from here on out and what you chose to make your belief in this possible, and how you grew that belief and how you stepped into it and started to use it and it got stronger. Those are the reps in the gym, my friend, the mental reps that it takes to make miracles happen. First, you have to believe that you can make miracles happen and that miracles will happen. I stack them in my day. They're daily now. My brain, there was somebody at Easter that said, hey, I found a quarter. And then after that, I started thinking of quarters. I had a quarter. I was like, change isn't even a thing anymore. And then I started seeing quarters all over. I just started collecting quarters. Or there's the analogy of like you're buying a car and you're looking for a specific. I know when we were looking for a Prius for its gas mileage, I see Prius on the road all the time now. I don't even think I ever really saw or paid attention to them before. So the miracles that are going to start happening, you're going to start stacking, and pretty soon you'll see miracles daily. You are so much more useful in your life with a higher energy of collecting miracles than we are leading with what's wrong in the day, leading with problems, leading with poor health. We are so much more effective believing that we have everything that we need to heal ourselves, to repair, to make sure we get what we need, to invite others to do the same, and to love and to stay steady. I promise you these are where miracles are made. And if I didn't have hundreds stacking, I also have 100 failures. I don't know if you saw that. I've got a jar full of like, these are my failures. But that is not what I focus on anymore. Those are actually proof that I'm still in this. And those are proof that I'm still, regardless, still here, still steady, still saying it, still doing it. So let's get you on board. Let's get you on this train of like, I'm just going to keep going and I'm going to do it better, harder, faster with less effort, because doing more didn't get me there. Doing less did. Doing less of everything that I thought was important and fighting all those fights that I was fighting to just remaining steady gave me more energy, took less stress and pressure, took so much heavy burden off of me, and I'm accomplishing more. I'm connecting deeper. I'm more efficient. I'm more effective. In the evening time when I didn't have energy and I was done, I was onto my brain. My brain depleted me all day, every day. It was adding to my problems. I'm telling you this is a thing, and I hope you believe it. I think I've repeated it enough times that you'll remember it, which is to your benefit as well. I'm just going to say goodbye and thank you. I do care. I do want you to join me on this journey and reach out to me if you ever need anything. I am here. Keep track of what I'm doing. There's a retreat that I'm doing, and whoever can make it would love it. May 1st and 2nd in Nordic Valley, up in the Ogden Valley area. It's from 10:30 a.m. on Friday to 6 p.m. on Saturday, and we will be immersing ourselves in this way of thinking and taking notes and making plans for you for your life and seeing exactly what drains you and seeing exactly where you could make these little tiny shifts that don't take any more effort, that don't give you any more to do, that lessens everything that you're doing and makes everything easier. All right, I'll wrap it up. Take care. I love you, and until next time, bye.